Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, or maybe it is welcome to As the Sun Sets. Yep, there's the sun going down over there, doing its thing for the last part of today. Starting to get dark earlier now, and the sun doesn't come up until later. And of course, November 1st is the time change. Well, not for everybody. I know some of you people like Arizona don't do that daylight saving time or anything like that. So there's a couple of states that don't observe it, but we do. And it's always a kind of a bummer this time of year when the days get really short, because you can't get all the stuff that you want to get done. Anyway, today I ended up going to town, and today was get ready for winter time. So besides starting off the morning doing some more E.O.S cleaning, E.O.S, for those of you who missed it last time, is end of summer. So I do my end of summer cleaning to get everything inside cleaned up and dusted off, because the windows will be closed a lot more often, so I'll get a lot less dust in there through the winter. But I still have to clean in between. But when I do the E.O.S, it's one of those things where you really get down and hands and knees, scrub the little corners of the bathroom, all that kind of stuff. Clean all the windows inside and out. Take the screens off, wash them down, all that kind of stuff. All right, so I'm on tank number 2 here. See what the birds have been doing in here. I'm going to be building a set of doors that go on here. I might even just do it as a single hanging hatch door that I could just put in place and latch down, just to keep the birds out, because they're really trashing the inside of this place. So I'm going to close this off so that they can't get in here anymore. I had to do that to the outhouse. My outhouse was starting to look like this. Go in there, you didn't want to sit down on that seat. It was just completely covered with bird crap. So I fixed that already. But anyway, I switched to tank number 2. Tank number 1 is full, because when that went empty back in April, I switched to number 2, and then I took this one down and refilled it right away. Here's number 3. Today I went down and refilled number 3, because that was the last one I used before the end of the winter. That's what I was on, and I switched to number 1 in the winter, because I use a lot more propane in the winter, because of my propane water heater, and my cabin is heated by a propane heater. So I use a lot more. I go through two tanks in the winter time, but this one has been going all summer since April 4th. I put that on there, and it's still running right now. No problems with it. So I probably got about 2.5 gallons left in that. So it's probably going to last until probably the first or second week of November, and then I'll be switching back to tank number 1, and then I'll take tank number 2 down and refill that, so I'll have all 3 tanks ready for the winter. And then one of these days I'm going to have my friend over at Mutual Propane in the OC make me a manifold to go across all 3 tanks, so that I can tie them all in and then just throw switch levers. And instead of having to come out here, it never fails. The tank always runs out of propane in the middle of the coldest night of the year. So you got to come out here in the middle of the night, freezing cold, and switch tanks. So it'd be a lot easier if you come out here and just go click, click, and done. Go back inside and get warm. All right, so anyway, I wanted to cover that part. And I have to walk a little slow because of the number of snake sightings around. I've been making sure that I always keep a Freedom Stick handy, and right now I just stuck it in the pocket of my shorts, so I got to reach down and hold on to it while I'm walking. Otherwise I'll be doing the thing like the song, they call him the streak. Look at that, look at that. I said, don't look, Ethel. It's too late. She got a free show. Anyway, coming down here into the garden house. And yeah, I can't believe it. These trees are sprouting again like it's springtime. But I still have a pear left on here, and I'm going to be eating that pretty soon. But look at my tomatoes. I got one there, one there, one there. There's tomatoes everywhere on this plant, everywhere. And then I've got a couple of ripe ones here. These are the little ones, the cherries. And then down here, I got more of these coming up. I got San Marzanos down there coming in. I got some more up here coming in. I forget what these are, but I know they're tomatoes. So, yeah, all the way through, everything is just really going crazy. Jalapenos, I got probably 2 dozen jalapenos in there, so I'll be plucking jalapenos pretty soon. I might have to pickle some because I won't be able to eat that many. I'll see if my neighbors want any. So I came down today and I put my my thermostat and my clock down in here so that I can keep track of time and temperature. And it looks like it's down to 80 degrees in here right now, even though it's a little cooler than that outside with the winds blowing. The winds came up a couple hours ago and they've really been kicking. So anyway, while I was in town today, my neighbors were heading out to go to town, and they texted me and said, hey, there's flashing lights down by your place. What is it, the police or whatever? I said, I don't know. Let me check my cameras. So I got on my cell phone and did the remote attachment to my cameras. I looked, I didn't see anything. So apparently it was out on the dirt road coming into this place, not near my place. But yeah, there was an accident over there, pretty bad, flipped over car, rolled a few times. And just last week, I swear it was the same car because my neighbor sent me a picture of the car. I heard a big woof while I was out here in the garden, and that sound like a car dragging metal. And I went out and I looked, and right where that accident happened today, that's where I saw this guy. He actually lost control, went up the embankment on the side of the road and came back down into the road, and then just kind of limped down the road again real slow. So I don't know, guy's on drugs or something. But yeah, stuff's been going on. So anyway, right after that, down there on the interstate, well, it's not really an interstate. Well, it's an interstate, but it's just a 2-lane highway. But on the other side of it, there was another accident there, and they had to airlift somebody out. There was a helicopter there and all that kind of stuff blocking the road. So anyway, by the time I got out back from town, all of that stuff was cleared up except one ambulance still down there. And as I was coming up the road, here comes this red light, flashing lights and sirens behind me, and 2 cars behind me was a CHP. And all of a sudden, his lights went on, the ambulance lights kept coming. I pulled off to the side of the road, and they shot on by, and they went up that way. And then just as I was turning in to come up to my place, a fire truck came from down that direction. So it must have been another accident down that way. So I guess somebody inadvertently opened up a big can of stupid, and it kind of spread around and got everybody doing their stupid stuff. But I was glad that's gone. Anyway, let's see. Next on the list. Next on the list is, look at that sunset. Close the garden. And I'm going to come up here, and one of my longtime followers, Dan Goras from Texas, heard that the people I bought the Midnight Classic 150 solar controller from screwed me over and didn't give me the battery temperature sensor unit. So he had an extra one, and he sent it to me at his own expense. Nice guy. I really appreciate that, Dan. And that's this blue wire right here. So I have that installed. And sorry about the fan noises, but that's down right here in between these two batteries. And it sticks right to the side of the battery, the sensor does. So this thing can read the temperature of the battery. So right now I'm in float mode. Can you imagine that? Why? Well, the winds have been blowing all afternoon. So I've been getting 548 watts and 36 amps peak. So yeah, there's been a lot of power coming in all day today, so I didn't really need it all. All right, I did have a question. Somebody asked, why do they use a solenoid in the dump load system? Why not just go straight off of the auxiliary? Well, I had to give that some thought, and I figured it out. Well, what the reason for it is, the auxiliary on this will not carry the high amps that you need for the watts that are going into a load like that. That's a 300 watt load. So if you figure out how many amps on a 12 volt to 300 watts, how many amps this thing would have to put out, it would probably fry the inside of the controller. So they use it just to switch the solenoid instead, and then let the heavier wires across the solenoid carry the heavy load from the batteries to the resistor, or whatever your load is. All right, the reason you hear an extra noise here is I had to put this extra wind tunnel fan underneath this unit, because this unit got really hot today and actually started flashing an error on it, and got me a little worried. So I put an extra fan on there to cool it down some, and it's been doing a great job ever since. So the batteries are still at 12.6, still full. Everything's floating because I don't need any more power, and I'm getting some power from the wind coming in. So it should be a nice, comfortable night. It's cooling down a bit. It did get up into the 90s again today, which is weird. Let me close this door, please. That way I don't have to listen to that fan through the kitchen window. All right, so anyway, I got that covered. And the other thing I've been working on all day today was my neighbors asked me to help them with a ladder. He wanted me to weld together some parts onto an existing metal ladder he had, because he's building a cistern up there to capture rainwater and store it in a cistern. But he wants to also use the cistern as a swimming pool in the hot summer days. So he wants a ladder to go down into the cistern, so that when they go into the water and cool off, I guess it's like the old show Petticoat Junction, where the three girls, Betty Jo, Bobby Jo, and Betty Jo, Bobby Jo, and who was the other one? Somebody put that down there. I can't remember the last girl's name. Anyway, the Billy Joe, Bobby Joe, Betty Joe. That's it. Billy, Bobby, and Betty. Anyway, they would be swimming in the water tank. The water tank was for the water for the steam engine that carried them through the hills and the mountains and all of that back to the Sam Drucker's little general store. So they're going to do the same thing in their cistern, but they wanted a ladder for it. So I started with a ladder that he brought me, a metal ladder. I was going to have to cut metal pipes to put over the square rungs so they wouldn't cut their feet up climbing on it. All. You know, I said, the heck with that. So I had some 1-inch pipe here, galvanized pipe, and I bent it like a swimming pool unit. So it's got the big loop on the top that'll mount on the top of the wall of the cistern, and then the two bottom legs will go down and press up against the wall down under the water. And then I have steps going up, which are same 1-inch pipe. So I've got just about everything bent and all of that. So all I got to do is cut up the 14-inch or 14 and a half inch steps and squash the ends slightly and then weld those a foot apart, going up to where they can climb out of the cistern when they need to, just like a swimming pool. And one of my plans down in the future is I'm thinking about taking that bush out right there and this mound right here, and that moving my cactus into the grow house, because that's actually a hydroponics unit that I built years ago, and I'm just using it to hold solar lights right now. But yeah, I want to get that growing again, because I usually grow strawberries in that, or heads of lettuce work great in it. But I'll move that out of there, and then this little area right here, I like to build an above ground swimming pool with 8/8/16 cinder block, and then I'll buy some pool plaster and plaster the inside of it, and then I'm going to put a 3 foot to 4 foot deck all the way around the thing on the top, and have poles going up and a screen house on the top of it, so I can screen the thing off. And then on the far end, or on this end maybe, one of the two ends, I'm going to put in a small outdoor barbecue kitchen. It'll have running water, the whole thing, there just to barbecue. And on one side, I'll make the deck a little wider. One side will be 3 foot just for walking, the other side will be 4 foot, so I can have a little 2 foot table, still have 2 foot to walk by, and have a couple of little 2 foot tables there, so me and the neighbors can sit along there, barbecue on those hot summer days when it's just too hot to work, and take a swim. Cool, huh? Yeah, it will be cool. But that's going to take another truckload of water just to fill the thing. I'll have to do my estimates on how much water it's going to take, so I can do it in one truckload, and build the pool to suit the one truckload of water. And then when the winter comes, I can drain that down and use that water for whatever, because I could let it freeze on the really cold nights and then turn it into a skating rink. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me tonight. This is G Bear reminding you to give me a thumbs up down there. Don't forget to subscribe, please. The subscribers are coming in and I love it. We're getting up there. I want to get to that big 5,000 mark, and then we're going to start making some changes around here, and you're going to start getting stuff just for watching my show. G Bear signing off.